This is the Tom Bigby Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi called Columbus, and sometimes I write about the rest of the state. Today I'm going to talk about Dr. William Spillman. He was Mississippi's pioneer scientist. Columbus was once home to the most interesting and overlooked scientist, Dr. William Spillman. And today we're going to be diving into his remarkable story because Spillman is a name you've probably never heard of, even if you're from Columbus. But he was a scientist who single-handedly put Mississippi's geological history on the scientific map. Born in East Tennessee in 1806, William Spillman was a Renaissance man who moved into his home Beckram in Columbus in 1838. Prior to moving to Columbus, he had married Nancy Armbruster of Wythe County, Virginia. They would have 4 children. 2 of them, John and Sarah, were born in Tennessee, and then once they were in Columbus, they had William and Teresa. Spillman was a druggist or a pharmacist in Columbus, and he was here practicing as a pharmacist in 1843 before attending medical school in the North, where he would graduate in 1846 at age 40. He then came back home to Columbus, where he had kept his house Beckram, to practice medicine for 25 more years. He finally left medicine to spend his last 25 years as an itinerant Methodist minister. From 1859 to 1870, he served the Mobile Methodist Conference as a traveling pastor for the Mississippi Conference. In 1870, he served as a minister in Enterprise, Mississippi, briefly, and by 1875, age 69, he's a retired member of the Mississippi Conference. So in 1882, because he still hadn't done everything he wanted in his life, I guess, he became the editor of the Mississippi Methodist, a publication printed in Meridian. But let's go back in his life a little bit and see some of the things he accomplished as a scientist outside of his professional life as a pharmacist, a doctor, and later a minister. From 1854 to 1873, he became Mississippi's first real paleontologist. While other scientists had ignored the state, Spillman was meticulously collecting fossils along the Tombigbee River. In 1855, prior to becoming a minister, Spillman began sending samples of fossilized fish and reptiles and shells from various places along the Tombigbee to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. He sent nautiloids, ammonites, gastropods, and bivalves to Michael Toomey, the first state geologist in Alabama. Spillman also created a faunal list of his Lowndes County Cretaceous fossils, noting his finds at Barton's Bluff along the river in Clay County. He sent mollusks from Owl Creek Bluff site, which is in Tippah County, Mississippi, to Tim Conrad, who was a New York State paleontologist. Spillman began working with geologists from the Alabama and the Mississippi second and third geological surveys that were being conducted at that point. He would then send an obscure bony fish fossil, a Hydrotus priscus, to Joseph Leidy, who is considered the father of American veteran paleontology. He also sent Leidy the first plesiosaur fossil from Mississippi and a mosasaur limb previously thought to be an ancient turtle limb. More on that later. In 1861, he donated Essacene fossils to the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia, where he was a member. In 1885, he took part in the geological exhibit in New Orleans for the exhibition of 1885. Spillman brought Mississippi's Cretaceous mollusks and vertebrates to the attention of other experts around the world in the mid-19th century U.S. He was one of Mississippi's first scientists belonging to the Academy of Natural Sciences of Philadelphia, when few other Mississippians could claim that honor, and was interested in and contributed to the fields of botany, conchology, which is the study of shells, geology, paleontology, speleology, which is the study of caves. No other paleontologist came to Mississippi until the late 1880s, so 99% of the early discoveries are those Spillman discovered between 1854 and 1873. The Smithsonian Institution U.S. Geological Survey, Academy of Natural Sciences of Philadelphia, the Mississippi Geological Survey, and the Geological Survey of Alabama, among all other organizations, all published papers based upon Spillman's discoveries and work. While he made contributions to numerous fields, Spillman's paleontology contributions were his most prolific and influential. He spent a great deal of time discovering fossil sites on the Tombigbee River and its tributaries. He gave the Barton's Bluff site in Clay County the sobriquet Sharks to Feed. As the place was so littered with shark's teeth, Plymouth Bluff is likely where Spillman's discovery of the mosasaur occurred, and certainly where he found numerous other fossils. Quoting Woodrick's essay, because specialists in geology and paleontology did not regularly come to Mississippi in the 19th century, almost all that was discovered about Mississippi Cretaceous fossils between 1854 and 1873 were due to Dr. Spillman's efforts. Spillman also frequented Owl Creek Bluff, Plymouth Bluff here in Lowndes County, Vinton Bluff in Clay County, and Prairie Bluff in Wilcox County, Alabama. Spillman's crowning achievement was his exhibition of a Basilosaurus at the World's Industrial and Cotton Centennial Exposition, the 1884 New Orleans World's Fair. Described at the time as a great whale-like monster, over 130 years later, Basilosaurus cetoides, also known as Zeuglodon, can be described today as one of Mississippi state fossils, due in part to Spillman's pioneering work. Spillman died in 1886 after suffering a fall on a flight of stairs while visiting a friend in Mathersville, Mississippi, near Shibuya. His son, Dr. John Spillman, rushed to his side from Columbus, but the senior Spillman's injuries were fatal. His grave is in Lot 79X of Friendship Cemetery in Columbus, Mississippi, and it is unmarked. Dr. Spillman represents the best of 19th century scientific exploration, curiosity, dedication, and a willingness to explore the unknown. His legacy, virtually 99% of every Mississippi fossil discovery, recognition from multiple scientific institutions, and a testament to the power of individual scientific passion. His unmarked grave in Friendship Cemetery belies the enormous scientific contributions Spillman made. I want to thank you for coming on this episode of the Tombigbee Tales. I'm Shannon Evans. Until next time.